My dad was born in 1931 and lived out his youth in Grove Street, Albion. He survived the Depression, World War II and the constant beatings from his alcoholic father. He survives still.
Life isn't hard. Life's not hard.
Today I'm taking him back to the house he grew up in 60 years ago. The house where his mother died and where he became a man.
We're all here. You want a cup of tea? Yeah, you'll have to share this cup of tea with me. It's pretty good. It's sweet. Any good?
Oh, it's disgusting. Have you got saccharin in that or something?
Yeah. The water that's left in the jug, you wash your cup out and you put the 2 spoons in it. See? And then you can dry the spoons. You're ready for the next cup of tea. You've got to think all the time when you're in a house. Right? Mind you, women can't think like men, can they? Hey, this is Yanoa, Garden City of the West, western suburbs of Brisbane.
How long have you lived in this place, in this house?
Oh, don't ask me questions like that. I can't add up, mate. I can't add up. I've never added up in my life. No. Okay, kids, we can go. Now, I'll just lock this. Keep old Bert out. Brilliant. Oh, mate.
Talk to me about Albion.
Well, we lived in Wakefield Street, Albion, in the Depression. And Dad got behind in the rent, see? And we passed all the furniture over the fence into Grove Street and we rented this house. It was a weatherboard, working class cottage, lovely old thing. And we loved it. There's Grove. Isn't it lovely? Well, they've got concrete stumps.
That's 40, that one there.
Oh, righto. So these are the old steps. They're exactly the same. This is our old house. Isn't it beautiful?
Sure is.
Now this is the veranda. The hallway was just here, which it's changed. This was a bedroom, and there was a bedroom here. This was the lounge. There was a wall there. This is the lounge. That was the main bedroom in there. We had a wireless here. It stood about that high. Mum, she had a seagrass lounge chair. She sat there, and she'd just be flaked out like that. When Mum went to town, I went with her because she had to have someone with her. Her heart was so bad. She'd strained her heart. She was a nurse, a Red Cross nurse, all the way through the First World War. And if a man's been machine gunned, especially through the stomach, he'd be in hospital for 20 years possibly before he died. And they had to turn him and bathe him and do everything for him. And the nurses, exhausted by it. And they had hundreds, thousands of them. Dad was lucky, he only lost his leg. He'd be sitting over here with his glass of beer beside him and his cigarette in his mouth. All through the war, he worked in a munition factory. He stood up on his wooden leg on a turret lathe, turning the bottom of the 25-pounder shells out at Rocklea. And now the old man, until he died, he lived the First World War. When I was born, a man-child, he could live again. When I played football, he was always there, and he had sixpence for the first bloke to kick a goal. They probably met in the Rosemount Hospital at Windsor. When he met her, the chemistry started. My God, they couldn't switch it off. White wings, they never grow weary, they carry me cheerily over the sea. Night comes, I long for you, darling, I'll spread out my white wings and sail home to thee. This is where I originally slept. In fact, I had a little shelf up here where I kept my treasures. Of course, during the Second World War, I made aeroplanes, you know. Oh yeah. The Catalina was the most magnificent aeroplane, mate. The shapes, Spitfires and all that. I used to keep all my stuff up there, and I had to climb up on the wall to get at it, see? When Mum died, he shifted out of the main bedroom and slept in my bed. And he put me out on the front veranda. This is Stanley's bed. I move it there so that I can get over to my library. Or if I want a nail or something like that, the hammers are under the table. This is how I open the bed up. It's very important to do it properly. You push that up to there and you push the bed down there, right? Now, this woolen blanket has to be wrapped around like that to hold the whole thing together. Got it? The woolen blanket like that, and then you put it down like that, and then you can lie down. Which is the easiest thing to do, Matt. You can just lie down like that. You can take your hat off like, how's that? But don't think I'm choked. I haven't choked yet, or croaked. Oh, it's the same. Look at that. Look at that, mate. Isn't it beautiful?
It's amazing.
The old bathtub, we didn't have any hot water. We just had cold water and no showers. I used to boil the copper downstairs, and I'd bring each one of us would have a bucket of hot water and get in the bath, put the hot water in, get the cold water on, and you'd have your bath and the toilet's here. The same. Oh, probably they had a chain pool, you know. It's a different toilet, of course. But that could be the same frame and bath. It's incredible, isn't it? Gee, it's good to be here, mate. See, the ceiling's the same. Everything's the same. I've got to earth it. So I get the chair there. I sit down here. Oh, look at that. See that? So I put my feet up here. Like that. It still doesn't work. Okay, mate. I used to walk to school down there, and Mrs. Goulet came out and she says, she looks at me, looks down at me and she says, "You've got a dirty neck." Gosh, I'm still offended. I mean, I was only a little kid then. Don't interrupt me. No, what was it? Finished school, 14. Windsor State. Well, they had to let me go. I didn't pass any exams, you see.
When were you born? 1931.
31 to 41 was primary school, and I still couldn't add up, but I could read and write. Because the most important thing my father told me was, go and join the library. When I was a little kid that high, I was in preschool, and the teacher said, take 2 away from 3. She gave me the chalk, I went out of the board and I couldn't do it. So she slapped me around the legs with the ruler, and it broke my heart because I was in love with her. We walked barefoot in an old pair of shorts, an old shirt, because we had no money. A little kid, about 18 inches or 2 foot tall, I had to take the weight of both the mum and dad. An incredible honour, because they were so heroic. She gave her life just as much as Dad did. Now, the stove was my responsibility. I lit all the fires. This is the chimney hole.
Yeah.
The chimney went up there, and this black cast iron stove was there, the old Crown stove. Over in that corner we had a gas stove and a table in the middle of the room, and all this had been new. So this is it, this is our life, see? But this is the house. That side there, where there's a little bit of a bush, that was the tank stand. Next to the tank stand was the copper, and in behind there was the laundry with the concrete tubs. Used to get a bucket, go to the tank stand, get the rainwater for washing the clothes, perfect soft water, into the boiler, and I'd have to chop a little bit of pine chips to get the fire going under the boiler, and then I'd have the hardwood chopped up fine, and we'd get this boiler going, and Mum would come down the stairs and with the clothes, see? And we put the clothes in the boiler. The sheets had to be boiled for 20 minutes. But there's the same tubs that we did the washing in. But there was a tap, see? And you could use the town water to rinse the clothes, rinse the sheets and the clothes. And that's how it was. Incredible, mate. It's so good to be here.
Well, please.
Really good. See those windows there, they slide? And I used to slide the window open, stand on the windowsill, grab a hold of that end of the window awning there, pull myself up onto the roof. That's how I got on the roof. And we used to climb all over the roof, walking on the lead nails, because that's where the wood was. And we pulled in at Brett's Wharf, and Dad was waiting. Always there was Dad, see, on his son, on his legs and his arm. Why are you going to England? What he said. And of course I couldn't answer. I couldn't explain that. He wouldn't understand anyway. And so I just went. Evidently, this was the crucial turning point in Dad's life. My dad couldn't live without my legs and his son. And he died of a broken heart.
So when you left?
I left in 63 and in 64 he was dead. I was his life. He lived his life through me. I lived my life through you kids.
Do you remember when you fell in love with Mum?
Yeah.
Was it love at first sight?
Yeah. There was this little evangelical church there, and she was sitting down leaning against the hall wall, and I looked at her and she looked strange. That was it. They have to be strange for me to understand them. See? So anyway, I asked her to marry me eventually. We wrote to one another. But my landlady, Nan Webster, she'd been all the way through the Blitz as an air raid warden in East London, see? Now, Nan used to intercept my mail, steam it open and read it. And she got this letter from Shirley saying she didn't want to marry me. So she steamed it open, she'd read it, she sealed it, she put it under a floorboard by the front door, and she said, Stan, would you go and turn the water on at the front door? Just lift the floorboard up, turn the water on. And I did that, and I found that my letter addressed to me. And so by then a few weeks had passed, and Shirley had to, well, I was probably determined, you see, and very brave. And I kept going for the wedding, we got the wedding. When we came to Australia, we had 3 kids, and Shirley was pregnant with a little fella named Ben. See, so she's got a big tummy. She went through the family law courts to take the kids off me, which she did. I could only have Ben, Penny and Timmy. The other 2 I couldn't have by law. I lost my kids. You couldn't make me bitter. I'm just like the old man. I take what's coming and I don't deviate. I'm disciplined. I'm so disciplined. I was disciplined to kill German soldiers, mate. And the discipline that I get in life is nothing to what I went through as a kid. There's nothing to match it. He belted every night. And this is where Dad used to belt me. He'd get me in here. He'd get me face the wall there. He'd grab me by the left wrist, so my back's to him, and he'd have the strap here, and he'd belt and belt and belt me. And this is every night, because he wanted me to come under military discipline, and I was going to kill Germans for him in France. And I swung around on him one day. I said, Dad, why are you doing this? He just kept belting me. So he was out of his mind, eh? Some people become mentally ill with their past experiences, and they never face the problem that is causing them an illness. Therefore, they can never overcome the illness. I have a glass of Stanley Lambrusco every night with my dinner, and that extends my life for 10 years, they say.
So you must be going to live for like...
Oh, I'll go forever.
Hundreds of years so far.
Mate, never give up on the old man. That tests my blood sugar. That's for chronic bronchitis, all the fumes, I got all the rubbish jobs, you see. This is Pravachol. That's for cholesterol. This is Cavasil. Oh, we'll just say it's for blood pressure. No one knows, eh? I've got to take two of them. I only took one. Got to take one. See, you become a drug addict. This one prepares your body to appropriate the sugar. This one saves you from a heart attack. That's Disprin. It's quite interesting. That's the needles. And
So what's that for?
that's for the insulin. You insolent looking thing. Hey, there was nothing under here. This would have been all open too, you see. There'd be none of this here. Just these wooden stumps. Dogs and cats were under here. This is where they lived. Because we lived upstairs, you see. Okay? It took me a while to get over leaving the kids, leaving the house. And it takes time. In time, you get through those problems. Because I was emotionally disturbed by it, but I just stayed at work. My graduation, you can see the difference. That was in 1991, and now what's this? 2000 1991, 2006.
Yep.
That's Bachelor of Community Welfare,
Yep.
James Cook Uni.
Yep.
And it is the greatest university because it's all labour.
What do you think of the state of this house?
I love it. You don't have to alter it at all. It's just a beauty.
Do you ever feel buckled and weighed down?
Yeah, you carry a few injuries through life, but if you face the hurts, they're the worst injuries you can have, and you just accept and take them on board.
Do you reckon this house needs a lick of paint?
Well, I suppose I need. Do I need any more makeup?
Well,
You see what I mean?
that's my next question. Do you think you need a lick of paint?
I'm not real good at that.
Right.
You know, I'd live in this house as it is.
Do you ever feel like your paint has flaked off?
No, I don't. I could never feel like that. It would be a denial of truth.
Can you teach an old dog new tricks?
I don't think so. He shouldn't need any instruction anyway. It helps if you've got gold teeth.
That's true. Do you have any regrets?
No. I think the joy of Woody Point was the highlight, though, of my life. Oh, the roses are blooming in Piccadilly, but there's never a rose so true. The roses are blooming in Piccadilly, but there's a rose that I wear in my hand for the Red Cross nurse. Through the war's great curse, she's the rose of no man's land. This is what you do when you make the bed. You lift this up, you throw it back there, you don't touch it again. All day.
Do you reckon it's too late for this house?
Never.
In the war great earth, on the Red Cross nurse, she's the rose of no man's land.
mate. Dum dum da dum, dee 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 dee, da dum da da dum da dee 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 dee, Da-dum, da-dum, da.
He's hopeless. He can't not perform.
I used to chase the cat with a piece of 3x2 because I didn't like cats.